Why do I deserve my goal? That's a question I have for you, as well as a question that I've asked myself on many occasions. You know, many times I've said to myself, you're lazy. You're just not getting it done. And people have complimented me on this thing or that thing, or asked me, how do you do so much? And my answer still is, I'm lazy. Which says to me, if I can say that about myself, what truth can you tell about yourself? You see, I'm not ashamed to admit that I know that I could be doing more. I know that I could be better. I can be doing better even. But the fact of the matter is, many times we don't like to acknowledge that shortcoming or that weakness within ourselves. You know, there's nothing wrong with weakness. The truth is, you have to acknowledge that there's weakness and there is strength. And when you acknowledge those two and you apply it to yourself, more importantly, then you can have a better outcome, or you position yourself to have a better outcome. So now back to the original question. Why do you deserve your goal? Now, again, you may look at different people and say, I see this person that's not as talented raking in the dough or having a certain level of status, and that's probably true. I see this person over here, I see you, I see this one or that one. But why do you deserve your goal? You see, it's easy to say that, why not? It's easy to say, because I want it. It's easy to say, I've thought about it all of my life. It's easy to say all those different things. But the hard part is asking a simple question. Saying something and stating something is easy. But the questions, that's when it gets tough. Are you prepared? Number one, are you prepared? You see, in order to get what you want, you have to know what it is that you're going after, and you have to be prepared to get it, simply. But many times we know that we want something, and it's genuine, it's authentic, and it may be the thing that's destined for us in the longest of long runs, and I get that, but we're not prepared. So what happens, remember, what's the guy? The guy with the $1 million voice, right? Now, I don't know if he was prepared or not, but when fame and opportunity came his way, at one point, I believe he took advantage of it, and in no time flat, he fell. He fell flat because he got opportunity, he made money, and he did not know what to do with it. And then before it was all gone, and correct me, let me know in the feed if I'm wrong, before it was all gone, all of his money, he went into rehab, and he wanted to clean up his act, and he was trying to help people. But then again, I'm not sure if it really worked in his behalf. You see, I know from experience, a lot of times when you want something, usually the majority of the time, and I'm talking 90 to 95% of the time, things don't work out the way we want because we're not prepared. But you get that 1% or that small percentage of people that experience things, and for whatever reason, it all works out. Like, I'll take myself, for example, and I'll make this really quick because the focus really wasn't about my life experience. When I became clean from substance, when I stopped using drugs, when I stopped getting high, I mean completely. I'm not talking about one of these people that say I only drink beer on the weekends. I'm talking about when I stopped. No beer, no wine, no smoking, no snorting, nothing. When I completely stopped, I had truly tried once, and I threw myself in a very vulnerable position, which caused me to fail. I probably would have been clean a lot longer and had a higher success rate as far as the time frame and the overall experience. But I made my own choice and put myself right back in that position of vulnerability. Now, I knew people that had went through treatment 5, 10, 15, 20 times. And to me, even as an addict, that just didn't make sense. Why do you have to be told, shown, dragged through life up to 20 times before you get it? So again, my question is, do I deserve my goals? And number one, are you prepared? You see, being prepared positions you to actually obviously benefit from it. It positions you to look back and realize that it was worth it and that your efforts were a worthwhile effort, and now you're bearing the fruits of your desires and your dreams, and everything's finally come to fruition. So you have to ask that question of yourself, and you must be honest. Be honest with yourself first, then feel free to be honest with others, because the worst thing you can do is mislead yourself. So the next question or the next option is, what's next? Number one, are you prepared? And then number two, what's next? Suppose you lose, not getting your goal, not obtaining your goal. What happens then? You see, there are quite a few people that feel that they should just get things because they want them, and I understand that, because I could appreciate that, but I also understand that it's about the journey. And even though that sounds philosophical, and people many times don't want to hear that, because they're like, look, I need my bills paid yesterday. Look, I'm hungry now. Look, I don't have the things and the lifestyle I want and haven't had it for a long time. I'm ready for that to be over. You still have to be prepared, and you still need to know what happens if those things don't come through like you thought they would. Now, there are many people that understand that if things don't come through the way they thought they would, there's a lesson in it. And that's what I would propose to you, to look at it in that fashion. Should things not fare the way you want, there's a lesson in it. Suppose you do get what you want. You do get your dreams and goals right out the box, right? Right off the break. Again, going back to the man with the $1,000,000 voice. What will you do from that point moving forward? Can you repeat that level of success? Can you sustain and or maintain that lifestyle? All the things that gave you that first shot right out the gate and things just worked perfectly. Can you do it? You see, being able to do that, it takes a lot of, as they say, chutzpah, right? And a lot of people simply don't have it because they've never had that experience. Just like your lotto winners. They win the lotto, 6 months to a year later, they're broke because they weren't prepared and they didn't know what to do. See, if you were to win a lotto, it's not about you managing all of your funds and your finances. Now, you probably can for the most part, but there's nothing wrong with getting a second voice, third voice in your ear for advice so that you know how to manage it. And that's the same thing with your goals. If you deserve your goals, it's not always about leaning to your own understanding, if you're catching my meaning, right? So you have to know what to do if you lose, and you have to know what to do if you should obtain your goal right off the break. So you also have to know option 3, the third thing I'm going to put on the table. You either have obtained your goal or you're close to it. And now, what is the rest of your life going to look like? Is it going to be about you and you alone? Is it going to be about you and your family? Is it going to be about you and helping others? Is it going to be about you creating a way of allowing your goal to be a highlight and a guide for other people? Because honestly, it can be a combination of all of those things. But you have to know what it is you want. And it takes us back to number 1, you have to be prepared. And I just think of these things because I know that, and I'm tired of talking about it. I know you are too. I know that with the way society is today, we want things to quote unquote go back to how they used to be. I don't know if they ever will, but what I do know is that the way that we do things, basically, it depends on us. Just because things are in an upheaval doesn't mean that your life has to be that way. You see, I heard someone say one time, you don't have to be the victim. You don't have to be the prisoner just because things are happening around you. And even when things happen to you, you do not have to be the victim. So I would love to know, what is it that you think? Do you deserve your goal? Are you prepared for it? What are you going to do if you lose? And what are you going to do if you win? And then when it's all said and done, if you're able to get it or you're on the road to it, how are you going to sustain it or maintain it? With that being said, I'll see you on the next time. Radiate the brain and change the game.